It was an honour and a privilege to be the Town Mayor of Godalming 2019 to 20. And at the end of that civic year, I expected to present an annual report and to hand over the chains of office to my successor. But COVID-19 and lockdown in March 2020 changed all that, preventing the annual town meeting and cancelling all public events. Godalming Town Council had to quickly adapt to a new way of working with one main priority, that of supporting our community. And the officers of Godalming Town Council have stepped up in an exemplary manner, each and every one of them. And I salute Lynn, Rita, Karen, Susie, Alison, Angela, Darren, Jason, Holly, and of course Andy, the leader of Team Godalming, and very definitely a First Division team. I thank also my fellow councillors for electing me as Mayor in May 2019, and then for extending this term of office to support the Town Council through these unprecedented and challenging times. So, having had to cancel the 2020 annual town meeting of the electors of Godalming, I now have the honour to present this report of the Council for the 2-year period, May 2019 to April 2021. In that May of 2019, and without the benefit of prior preparation afforded to most mayors, it was indeed a standing start. And the year began at a dash. The Godalming Run, expertly arranged by Sport Godalming, Waverley Harriers, the Charterhouse Club and Godalming Town Council, and run by very many hundreds, including councillors past and present, and the headmaster of Charterhouse. And then the park run during staycation too was a safe, happy family event, and one that I am delighted Godalming Town Council supported, resulting in Waverley giving permission for the park run to become a permanent fixture post-lockdown, hopefully starting in September. We are fortunate to have so many sporting opportunities in Godalming: football, hockey, bowls, to mention just 3. But like so many other activities, all have been severely curtailed over the past 14 months and will need our support to re-establish themselves. Many will recall the 2019 annual town show on that hot, hot day, perfect for a colourful carnival. Copious thanks must go to our very own Knights of the Round Table, dressed on that day in pretty pink Hawaiian shirts. Unfortunately, the 2020 show had to be cancelled and the 2021 show postponed. But let us all look forward to its resumption on the 18th of September. Godalming Staycation too is firmly established as a summer event with its vast cornucopia of delights to try: dance, drums, football, swimming, canoes on the river, ballet and bingo. And on the bandstand, the venue for many fine performances by our very own Godalming Town Band, they gave children the chance to try out an instrument. And what can I say about the awesome Staycation Live? Who needs Glastonbury when you can party in our very own park? But due to celebrate its 10th anniversary, Staycation Live has had to put off its celebrations, but will bounce back bigger and better next year. In late 2019, I chaired a public meeting giving residents a chance to speak about their concerns over antisocial behaviour and to try and offer some answers. We must recognise that the vast majority of our younger residents are law-abiding and good citizens. The lockdown has deprived so many of them of their most important developmental time, both socially and educationally. And the work of Godalming Town Council Youth Provision Working Group is potentially now more important than ever. I take this opportunity to thank them and to thank Andy Paulson and the Trinity Trust team and the Farncombe community team for working safely for young residents throughout this time. Before the pandemic, it was a pleasure to visit local schools and meet students and see their work. We were very impressed by the amazingly high standards of drama and musical performance on display, as well as amazing art and craft shown by our young citizens. It was especially uplifting to be invited by Broadwater School on August the 20th for their outdoor GCSE results day and to share their joy. Normally, Godalming is blessed with so many great musical opportunities, be it the Godalming Performing Arts Festival, the summer bandstand concerts, the jazz choir, the rock choir, the operatic society, the town band, and not forgetting the Film Society and the Godalming Theatre Group. And I would like to especially thank the Godalming Theatre Group, whose online performances brightened our lives and raised much appreciated funds for the community store. And we look forward to the restoration of art and culture. Godalming Town always marks remembrance in a most respectful manner. And in 2019, the community gathered in its hundreds for a solemn act of remembrance. In 2020, COVID could not stop this annual event, though the silence was marked by just a few on behalf of the many. Godalming Town Council arranged a live outside broadcast of the ceremony to allow residents to be a part of the virtual congregation. And this has been viewed 4,400 times. The anniversaries of VE 75 and VJ 75 were also marked respectfully and safely. Christmas is a season of light, and we now have Christmas lights in Godalming and in Farncombe, and the season is further blessed by the In Memory tree in Crown Court. In December 2019, it was an absolute delight to stand at the pepper pot and look out at the sea of happy faces, watching the lights being switched on. It was also joyful to be with Reverend James Ratu for the switch on of the village lights at the Farncombe Day Centre. Determined that the challenges were not going to stop the prettiest Christmas lights in all of Surrey from being switched on, in December 2020, the children of Moss Lane School and Farncombe Infant School assisted in conducting a socially distanced virtual countdown. So secret was the date that even I didn't know when the lights would actually go on. But go on they did, and over 14,000 people watched the event on video. The residents of the Meath are close to my heart, and I highly recommend a visit to Changing Perceptions in the High Street. The coffee, the cake and the craft are all exceptional, and a warm welcome awaits when it is safe to fully reopen. An absolute highlight of Christmas 2019 was to attend and to read for the service in aid of the Meath at St Clement Danes Church in London. And volunteers in Godalming do not stop. Even on Christmas Day, there is a lunch at Queen Street Baptist Church for those who would otherwise be on their own, organised by Churches Together and sponsored by Waitrose. It was good to be there on December the 25th, 2019, to talk with the guests and to say the grace. In 2020, volunteers from Churches Together very carefully and in a distanced way delivered cards and gifts to those on their own. Working together is what transforms a town into a community, and it is right and proper to thank those who go the extra mile. And the Volunteers Award that I started in 2005 continues to recognise such generous works of kindness. So 2020, the year darkened by COVID-19 pandemic, but lightened by people working together, neighbour helping neighbour, and stepping up and helping those in need of assistance and support. In 2020, rainbows were everywhere as a sign of hope, and our community stood on doorsteps to clap for carers and key workers. Our school children made face visors. Teams of volunteers sewed face masks. Farncombe Day Centre delivered thousands of meals to the elderly, and volunteers, with help of Godalming Town Council, set up and continue to run the Godalming and Villages Community Store. This magnificent service for others is supported by individuals and businesses across our town and local villages. Opened on April the 20th, 2020, the community store, working with the St Mark's Food Bank, has provided in excess of 34,000 days' worth of food and other essentials to members of our community, many of whom never thought that they would find themselves in the situation of having to use a food bank. The store is supported by local businesses, though facing their own challenges, have given generously. On behalf of Godalming Town Council, it is an honour to thank those who have worked tirelessly for others. They are themselves rainbows of hope. Rainbows galore, and I am pleased too to show that we have flown the rainbow flag of pride. In 2019, alongside former Mayor of Waverley, Councillor Mary Forcheski, we raised the rainbow flag in support of our LGBT+ community. And in the summer of 2020, the Surrey Pride Roadshow stopped at the Pepper Pot, from which rainbow bunting was flying. Godalming Town Council represents everyone in our community. The motto is Libera Diendi Fidelis, faithful because free. Free to be who we are and free to love those we love. We welcome diversity, and I am glad that Godalming Town Council voted to support Black Lives Matter. In October 2020, I visited every school in the town to present Black and British by David Olusoga to mark Black History Month. This matters to me personally because my mother was born in Africa and I was born in Kingston in the county of Surrey, but in the country of Jamaica. And being white, neither of us have ever experienced racism. The civic year allows mayors to lend additional support to their chosen good causes, and there are many good causes, and choosing is always difficult. the charities that I have supported are the Meath, Skillway and the Trinity Trust team. The Meath supports and cares for and protects the physical and mental health of those who live with epilepsy and associated learning and physical disabilities. Skillway motivates and instills confidence in disadvantaged and disengaged young people by teaching practical workshop skills. And Trinity Trust works with young people in schools and in the community, helping them to realise their potential. The civic links of Godalming spread beyond our town. We are part of Waverley Borough and we are part of Surrey County. But our links of friendship are also in Europe, with our twin towns of Joigny and Mayenne, which we visited in February 2019 and with whom we remain in close contact. Our shops and our businesses have been challenged through this year, but despite the difficulties, I have opened 3 shops: Cut Through, the New Barber in Crown Court, Nightingale Flowers and Grub at Ritual, both in Farncombe, and may I urge you all to shop local. It is a very great pleasure and a privilege to be able to open the new Town Council office opposite the Pepper Pot, an office which is accessible for residents and from which the valuable work of the Council will continue. So we arrive at the point of announcing those who will be recognised for volunteer awards for the years 2019-20 and 2021. In 2019, those recognised were Denise Hodgkiss for her dedication to Godalming Theatre Group, Suzanne Cacciatolo for concerto music concerts free for all, Ian Cllr for his service to Rotary, Mary Mutton and Pat Mercer for years of collecting for the Royal British Legion, and Maureen Jones for her dedication to cooking for others, in particular for cooking for many, many Christmas Day lunches at Queen Street Baptist Church. 2020 being a different kind of year, so instead of recognising individuals, I'm giving the Volunteer Award to groups who have stepped up exceptionally. To Broadwater School, in recognition of the staff and pupils who gave their time to manufacturing face visors for PPE for many local care homes and organisations. The Rotary Sewing for Good group. They have sewn thousands of face masks and have sold them in Godalming High Street, making funds for other local good causes. Farncombe Day Centre. They have made and delivered over 10,000 meals to the elderly residents of our community. The Godalming Fridge, for reducing food waste and for contributing every day to the community store. Free My Meal, for cooking meals for those in need, and since August 2020, this organisation has cooked 7,000 meals for families. And the volunteers of the Godalming Community Store for setting up and for running the shop with no till for those living with food insecurity. Heroes all. Thank you. We are living in uncertain and challenging times. Brexit, austerity, climate change, and coronavirus. But we face these times together, and we are indeed better when we work together. Ours is a real community made up of many and of much, and I hope this review of 2 mayoral years shows that we have plenty to celebrate and to enjoy. Our volunteers and local organisations, our churches and our shops connect us one to each other. So that is community. That is Team Godalming. And I hope that you join us and that we can work together to continue to make our town into this great community. Thank you.